I didn't ask anybody, I believe last week, right? So to do the opening, I will have Uma do it today, and then Suma, after for the next class, you do the opening prayer, and up to what we finish in the 18th chapter today, in the beginning of 18th.
Guruji, are you talking to me, right?
No, Suma.
Suma, sorry.
Okay, which one, Ramakrishna?
From 18th chapter, first verse to where we end today.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, go ahead. Uma, my wife will do the opening today.
Shambharadharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarvabhignopashantaye Narayanam Padmabhuvam Vasishtam Shaktim Jatat Putrapura Parasharam Cha Yasam Shukam Gaudapadam Mahantam Govinda Yogindram Atasya Shishyam Shri Shankaracharyam अथ अस्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यम् तं तोटकं वार्तिककारम् अन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततम् आनतोऽस्मि ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः कृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता गीताध्यान श्लोकाः ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे उल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सस्तुतिर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनम् देवकी परमानन्दम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः सुन्वन्ते दिव्यैः समैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः कृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः अथाष्टादशोऽध्यायः मोक्षसंन्यासयोगः अर्जुन उवाच सन्न्यासस्य महाबाहो तत्त्वमिच्छामि वेदितुम् यागस्य च हृषीकेश पृथक्केशिनिषूदन श्रीभगवान् उवाच काम्यानां कर्मणां न्यासम् सन्न्यासं कवयो विदुः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं राहुस्त्यागं विचक्षणाः त्याज्यं दोषवदित्येके कर्म प्राहुर्मनीषिणः यज्ञदानतपः कर्म त्याज्यमिति चापरे निश्चयं शृणु मे तत्र त्यागे भरतसत्तमा त्यागो हि पुरुषं व्याघ्र त्रिविधः सम्प्रकीर्तितः यज्ञदानतपः कर्म न त्याज्यं कार्यमेव तत् यज्ञो दानं तपश्चैव पावनानि मनीषिणाम्.
So in the last class, we started with the Mokṣha Sanyasa Yoga, the 18th chapter. Arjuna begins here with the question. He's a little confused about the differences between Sanyasa and Tyaga. Tyagasya Hechikesha, Sanyasasya Mahabaho, Tattvamichchami Veditum. As it is, Tattvamichchami means tell me as it is what sannyasa is and tyaga is. Now, this confusion, as we said earlier, because Krishna has used these terms fairly interchangeably, and here Krishna explains that there is there's not a uniform opinion on this. Kamyanam karmanam nyasam sannyasam kavayo viduhu. Only the sannyasa does not mean renounce all karma. Only fruit motivated karma is to be given up. And whatever karma we are doing, we don't do the in doing that karma, we don't seek the karma phala. That is tyaga. You are allowing the Paramatma to decide what he thinks is good for me to be given. That is the meaning. That I don't go after, I want this, I want this, I want this, but I let the Paramatma decide and give me what I need. That is tyaga. And there is a difference of opinion whether karma should be done or not. Some people say all karma is associated with defects, so no karma should be done, karma should be given up. And some others say, no, you have to do karma. What is the defect in karma? It is binding. Whatever karma we do, that has a binding effect on giving the fruits of karma, and then another birth, and then there we do again additional karma, and like that it goes in a chain. That is some opinion. But somebody says, no, that should not be done like that. Nischayam shunme tatra tyage bharatasattama tyaga hi purusha vyagra trividaha samprakirtitaha. This tyaga is of three kinds, he says. They should not be given up. Yajna dana tapa karma natyajyam karyam yuvatate. Yajna dana and tapas karma, all these things should be done. It should not be given up because they are the sanctifying agents for human beings. See, what is sanctifying? We want to fill our mind with positive thoughts, positive impressions. And those impressions are accumulated only through karma. Just sitting, doing nothing is not going to implant any impressions in the mind. Therefore, what are these activities that cause impressions to be large, that are of value? Yajna, dana, tapas, and karma. Yajna, dana, tapas, and karma, we don't have to think. There was a little confusion last class about this and the commentary on this and the next verse. So I will repeat this. these karmas of yajna, dana, and tapas, they are not to be renounced. They have to be performed. That is what Krishna is saying with definitiveness. Yajna, dana, and tapas, without seeking the fruits thereof, are sanctifying. That means positive impressions are lodged in the mind by doing the karmas of yajna, dana, and tapas. What is yajna? Yajna does not have to be sitting in front of a fire, invoking God in the medium of fire and offering Havis offerings to the fire. That is one form of yajna, right? But in the fourth chapter, we see different kinds of yajnas there. Krishna describes even offering my karma to the Lord is also a yajna. That is the important part that we have to understand in yajna. We don't have to do the fire ritual, but we can offer the fruits of our karma to the Paramatma. That is the ahuti that you are doing. And then by doing that, you are performing yajna like that. Dana, again, it don't necessarily have to be anything very significantly, making a lot of cash donations or anything. It's all in the sentiment. Giving a dana, anticipating that there is someday there may be some positive effect for me. That is not the right one. Just whatever you say, whatever you do Krishnarpanamastu. That becomes a dana. And tapas is what? Austerity. Now, we do tapas in so many of our, throughout our life, we have done so many tapas. To pass a high school, there is a tapas required. Tapas is what? Cultivating the body and mind to complete the task. That is tapas. So that austerity, cultivating in studying, for example, for your high school or college degree or medicine or law or whatever it is, we have to condition our body to go through that routine. So the body is definitely put to strain. That is tapas in one sense, in the sense that to achieve those material benefits also we have to do tapas. What Krishna is saying here is you have to do tapas to in your request for liberation also. So those are the positive impressions that generated by these yajna, danas, and tapas. They are not to be given up. So they are not necessarily defective. You can make them defect free by performing them as an offering to the Lord. You can avoid the contraction of those defects. And when you perform like this, you have taken the first baby step towards liberation. You have taken a step in the right direction towards liberation. And the other important aspect of this doing is yajna, dana, and tapas. It defeats the opposing forces. What is the opposing force? Suppose you have the choice between doing a yajna or a tapas and the choice of watching TV. Now, watching TV is an opposing force. Towards liberation, it doesn't help in any way. Yet, we do that. But if we take up, instead of watching TV, yajna, dana, and tapas, then that becomes the positive step taken in the right direction, defeating the opposing forces. So like this, we can avoid some of the negativities of karma by doing the karma in a certain way. This is what where we stopped in the last class. So yajna, dana, tapa, karma, natyajyam, karyameva tata. We learned this verse, so we'll move on. Etanyapitu karmani sangam tyaktva phalani cha kartavya niti me partha nishchitam matamuttamam. He says, etani, all these yajna, dana, tapas that was described in the previous verse, etani apitu kartavyani karmani, they have to be undertaken as a duty. Sangam cha phalani tyaktva, by renouncing the fruits thereof and attachment. Iti me nischitam matam uttamam. This is my firm conviction opinion. This is my firm opinion, he says. So you have to do these karmas. You have to do these karmas as duty, and you have to do this karma by giving up attachment and the fruits thereof. So that these the yajna and tapas have to be performed. My definitive and absolute opinion is they have to be performed as a duty without attachment and foregoing their fruits. Now, that does not mean that if I don't expect the fruit, I will not get the fruit. I will get the fruit, but that fruit will be offered by the Paramatma, knowing what is right for me instead of my hankering for a fruit which may not be in my own interest, because I don't know my own interest because of my ignorance. Whereas Paramatma knows what is good for me, and it's like you go to a doctor, you have some ailment, you can take yourself some treatment, or you can go to a doctor and get the treatment. The doctor knows what is right for you, like a mother knows what is good for the child. So the Paramatma knows what is good for all of us. He will give the fruits of the karma that I do in a way at the right time, and that will be beneficial to me. This Sangha is attachment. What is attachment? This whole thing in the parenthesis, this is my karma. This Sangha, I mean, this is my karma means my identity, body identity. This is karma I am doing. I have to enjoy the benefits offered by this karma is attachment. This is the full definition of attachment. So I can't highlight this here. If I click on that, it will go to the next slide. So this is my karma. I am doing this karma, and I have to enjoy the benefits offered by this karma is attachment. Now, all right, what is wrong with that? Yes, there is per se, if you don't have a goal, there is nothing wrong. You don't have a spiritual goal, there is nothing wrong with it. Now, what happens is for definite karma, there is a definite enjoyment. The finite, the enjoyment you get out of doing a certain karma is finite, and the enjoyment, what does it do? It leaves behind the impressions of karma phala. Oh, by doing this, I enjoyed this way. We repeat that karma again and again and again. So when we repeat the karma again and again and again, we are adding more and more impressions for the next additional births. So that is where the Sangha or the attachment causes a problem. So the defect is in attachment, not in doing the karma. That is what in one of the earlier verses, we saw some people say karma is defective, give it up. No, Krishna says defect is not in the karma, defect is in the sentiment attached with the karma. If that sentiment is attachment to the karma, yes, you will contract those defective outcomes, but there is a way for you to avoid that. So this karma is my duty, and its fruits are the offerings to please the Paramatma shall be the motivation for all of us. That is what Krishna is recommending for us to spiritually grow. So the karma is, I am given this karma by Paramatma. It's not my karma. This is Paramatma's karma, and he has given me this karma to help me. I will do the karma at the best of my ability, and then he will give me the fruits thereof. Even that you don't say he will give me the fruits thereof. I have given it to his custody. So doing karma as duty without that desired motivation is the only way of avoiding any additional impressions in the mind. Remember, more impressions of the mind, more impressions of Prakriti in the mind, the more defective it becomes, the more seeds are sown in my mind for future births, and therefore I have to eliminate this doership, and that is how I can avoid these new impressions being planted. So This is a conclusive statement Krishna is making, that these karmas have to be done, and this is my firm opinion that it has to be done this way. So he has cleared Arjuna's doubts of what is karma, karma tyaga, and karma palatyaga, and karma sannyas. Etani apitu karmani.
एतानि अपि तु कर्माणि एतानि अपि तु कर्माणि
Sangam tyaktva phalani cha.
सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा फलानि च सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा फलानि च
Kartavyani iti me partha.
कर्तव्यानि इति मे पार्थ कर्तव्यानि इति मे पार्थ
Nischitam matamuttamam.
निश्चितं मतमुत्तमम् निश्चितं मतमुत्तमम्
Etanyapitu karmani. Sangam tyaktva phalani cha. Kartavyani iti me partha. Nischitam matamuttamam.
एतान्यपि तु कर्माणि सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा फलानि च कर्तव्यानीति मे पार्थ निश्चितं मतमुत्तमम् एतान्यपि तु कर्माणि सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा फलानि च कर्तव्यानीति मे पार्थ निश्चितं मतमुत्तमम्
4, 5, and 6.
निश्चयं शृणु मे तत्र त्यागे भरतसत्तमा त्यागो हि पुरुषव्याघ्र त्रिविधः सम्प्रकीर्तितः यज्ञदानतपः कर्म न त्याज्यं कार्यमेव तत् यज्ञो दानं तपश्चैव पावनानि मनीषिणाम् एतान्यपि तु कर्माणि सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा फलानि च कर्तव्यानीति मे पार्थ निश्चितं मतमुत्तमम्.
Now, having defined that these karmas have to be completed, have to be done, undertaken, still there are people, us included, we try to cut corners with those karmas. And Krishna says there are 3 ways you can look at this performance of the karma. Niyatasya tu sanyasaha karmano nopapadyate mohat tasya parityagaha tamasa parikirtitaha. Niyatasya sanyasaha karmanaha na upapadyate. Is not advised to give up or renounce duties, prescribed karma duties. To moha tasya parityagaha, by giving up of them, not doing those karmas out of delusion. Tamasaha parikirtitaha is described to be tamasic. Delusion means we can say ignorance, out of ignorance. Ignorance is what? Whether I'm in control of everything, I can do it or I don't have to do it. That is the ignorance that we are talking here. So tamasaha parikirtitaha. So giving up of duty out of ignorance is tamasic. These prescribed actions have to be performed. It's not appropriate to renounce these daily duties. Every one of us have certain duties to perform. Take, for example, we go to work in a company or a hospital or government or whatever field of work that we undertake. There is a duty prescribed to us. And if we don't do those duties, we cannot renounce those duties at the workplace, then we know that we will not we'll get a warning, and then if it continues, we'll be out of the workplace there. So it is not appropriate to renounce daily duties because they are the sanctifiers to the ignorant. Now, if I keep doing, whether I understand it or not, I do that. That becomes the sanctifier, pavana, he says, to the ignorant. Now, for example, in India, we have this peon. Every officer has a peon associated with him. He will do all the little chores for that officer. And the peon, if he says, I don't have to do this, he will lose his job. It's very easy to replace him. People with certain skills may be harder to be replaced, but people without skills, you cannot replace them. You can replace them without skills. You can replace them easily. Therefore, to that peon, that doing his karma duty is a sanctifier. It helps him feed his family. So that ignorant thought should be given up. I have to do this. This is God's will. That is the right attitude. So the notion of daily duties can be renounced is improper and flawed. Any karma that is prescribed to me, I should not give up. I cannot give up. And if I give them up, don't do it. That is not going to spiritually help me. Therefore, renouncing these karmas out of delusion or ignorance is tamasic. After all, what is tamas? Tamas is delusion. Not knowing the right from the wrong is tamas. That is delusion. So the Shastra prescribes nitya karma, and renouncing them has no place. Why does the Shastra prescribe nitya karma? Just like your manager prescribes a certain karma to you, because considering the manager knows out of your background and my background, what is the right karma that I can do to the efficiency of the company. And there, that karma has to be done. Likewise, the karma prescribed by the Lord is for the efficient running of the universe. Nitya karma is that duty that is prescribed in the Shastra, and renouncing them has no place. Now, that is the Krishna says, renouncing nitya karma out of ignorance is tamasic renunciation. He says, mohat tasya parityagaha tamasaha parikirtitaha niyatasya tu sanyasaha.
Niyatasya tu sanyasaha. Niyatasya tu sanyasaha.
Karmanaha na upapadyate.
Karmanaha na upapadyate. Karmanaha na upapadyate.
Mohat tasya parityagaha.
Mohatasya parityagaha. Mohatasya parityagaha.
Tamasaha parikirtitaha.
Tamasaha parikirtitaha.
Niyatasya tu sanyasaha karmano nopapadyate. Mohat tasya parityagaha tamasah parikirtitaha.
Niyatasya tu sanyasaha karmano nopapadyate. Mohatasya parityagaha tamasah parikirtitaha. Niyatasya tu sanyasaha karmano nopapadyate. Mohatasya parityagaha tamasah parikirtitaha.
5, 6, and 7.
Yajnana tapat karma natyajam karyameva tat. Yajno danam tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam. Yetanyapि tu karmani sangam tyaktva phalani cha. Kartavyani iti me partha निष्ठितं मतमुत्तमम् नियतस्य तु सन्न्यासः कर्मणो नोपपद्यते मोहात् तस्य परित्यागः तामसः परिकीर्तितः.
So the everyone, we are look at ourselves as a part of a group. Every one of us have a role to play in that group, and if any one of us don't do the required duty, then the other people will be suffering because I have to provide my output is an input to some other person in the group, and therefore that work will suffer, and we will not. As that group, we will not survive. Like that also now you expand that group to the entire universe. Everyone have a role to play. And like I said earlier, the peon doesn't know why he is doing that or why he should not do it. He has no knowledge of that. But he is a part of the group and he has to do his karma, whether he knows it or not. Then I don't know what is going to happen, so I will not do it. That is what he's calling as tamasic renunciation, out of delusion. Now there is another group of people. We know that this karma has to be done, but if I do this karma, I have to experience some hardship. Krishna classifies them in a different way. Dukkametyeva yat karma Kaya klesha bhaya tyajet sakrutva rajasam tyagam naiva tyaga phalam labhet. He says yat karma dukkam eva, that all karmas are difficult and stressful only. Iti kaya klesha bhaya tyajet, thus renouncing because of bodily discomfort, fear that the body gets damaged. Krutva rajasam tyagam, he undertakes rajasic renunciation. Tyaga phalam na eva labhe, does not enjoy the benefits of renunciation also. So giving up these actions is an ordeal. It is a painful process. I would like to just sit back in a chair comfortably. That is rajasic renunciation. So he who renounces daily duties. So we are now coming back again into these duties. Daily duties out of discomfort and pain to the body. He is engaged in rajasic renunciation. We even take the simple case of taking a shower. Everywhere it's an unwritten rule or the work that everybody morning you have to cleanse yourself. Now, if I say, oh, it's such a cold morning, I don't want to get into the shower, I feel very cold, that is rajasic renunciation. And what is the outcome? The body doesn't clean. Taking a shower cleans the body, and out of discomfort for the body, if I don't take the shower, then my body doesn't get the benefit. That's what he says. A rajasic mind does not accept body discomforts to engage in duty. Therefore, observance of duty requires, as we all know, reduced sleep, subjects to inclement weather, bodily discomfort in accumulating the materials required to do the karma. All these are the aspects of engaging the body in certain activities, and that is discomfort, yes. So to renouncing karma to avoid bodily difficulties is described as rajasic tyaga. The rajasic mind does not accept body discomforts to engage in duty. Now, I would rather sit and watch TV, which has no, watching TV does not serve any goal at all. Purushartha is not attained by watching TV, whereas Purushartha is attained by doing the daily prescribed duties of worship. Everybody has to worship the Lord for a few minutes a day. Let's say that is the prescribed duty. There is a Purushartha, the goal, you are adding up to the goal of the Purushartha in doing little work. And if I don't do that, I will not attain to that benefit at all. Like studying for an exam. Exam is passing the exam is a purushartha, is a goal. And to that pass that examination, I have to subject the body to tapas, to difficulties. And out of that discomfort, if I don't study, I will not pass the exam. I will not achieve my goal or the purushartha. So in Rajasic renunciation, he does not attain to that benefits of renunciation. What in this case we said, he does not pass the exam. So a renunciation born of knowledge in the pursuit of liberation. That is, the liberation, we have to take that karma and the benefits of renunciation in the big picture is the pursuit of liberation. I am not at any moment be ready to pursue the liberation if I don't do the karma out of bodily discomfort. So it does not accrue any spiritual benefits, like not studying. It does not add to passing the exam. Not doing the nitya karma does not accrue to spiritual benefits. So if spiritual, suppose if it's the other way, spiritual Rajasic Tyaga is spiritually helpful, then everybody will be lazy, everybody will be become a sannyasi, not do anything, and by not doing anything, he doesn't get any new positive impressions in his mind towards the goal of liberation. Now, neglecting the duty in the transactional world will not help him be pursuant of duty in the spiritual world. So what this means is doing the duty in the transactional world will have some impressions, and those impressions could be translated towards spiritual goal by doing in a certain way. And that is what we will have to do the karma, however difficult it is, whatever, whether it is spiritual karma or transactional karma, does not matter. You develop an ethics. You develop a work ethics by even engaging in the duties of the transactional world, and that work ethic can be translated to spiritual karma also at the right time. So a person practicing Rajasic renunciation does not attain to liberation at all. He is just going to be, like going back and forth in every life, and he will not accrue any positive step towards liberation. Dukkhamiti eva yat karma.
iti eva yat karma. Dukkham iti eva yat karma.
Kaya klesha bhayat tyajet.
Kaya klesha bhayat tyajet. Kaya klesha bhayat tyajet.
Sakrutva rajasam tyagam.
Sakrutva rajasam tyagam. Sakrutva rajasam tyagam.
Naiva tyaga phalam labhet.
Naiva tyaga phalam labhet. Naiva tyaga phalam labhet.
Dukkamityeva yat karma. Kaya klesha bhayat tyajet. Sakrutva rajasam tyagam. Naiva tyaga phalam labhet.
Dukkham ityeva yat karma. Kaya klesha bhayat tyajet. Sakrutva rajasam tyagam. Naiva tyaga phalam labhet. Dukkham ityeva yat karma. Kaya klesha bhayat tyajet. Sakrutva rajasam tyagam. Naiva tyaga phalam labhet.
6, 7, and 8.
Etānyapi tu karmāni sangam tyaktva phalāni ca kartavyāni ti me partha nishchitam matamuttamam niyatasya tu sannyāsah कर्मणो नोपपद्यते मोहात् तस्य परित्यागः तामसः परिकीर्तितः दुःखमित्येव यत्कर्म कायक्लेशभयात् त्यजेत् स कृत्वा राजसं त्यागम् नैव त्यागफलं लभेत्
कार्यमित्येव यत् कर्म नियतं क्रियते अर्जुन संगं त्यक्त्वा फलं चैव सत्यागः सात्विको मतः अर्जुन नियतं कर्म कार्यम इति एव यत् क्रियते. He who performs the prescribed duties has to be undertaken alone. There is no choice undertaking that. Sangam cha palam tyaktva, giving up attachment and fruits thereof. This sangam and palam tyaktva, Krishna drills in every occasion in this Bhagavad Gita. It is like that. Those are the most important aspects because that sangha is in the prakriti. See, there are only two entities, Purusha and the prakriti. And the sangha is in the prakriti, and if I am attached to the prakriti, I will never have the ability to transcend the prakriti and go to the purusha. So the only way I can detach from prakriti is to give up the fruits of action and ownership, because they are both in the prakriti alone. So giving up attachment and fruits thereof, Saha eva satvikaha tyagaha mataha. That alone is satvika renunciation, in my opinion. Why is it a satvika renunciation? Because that enhances the sattva guna. Once I do this giving up, do the karma, giving up the attachment and fruits thereof, I am coming closer to the Atma. I'm moving away from the anatma, and that is the benefit of doing sattvika tyaga. So he who determines that this daily routine is duty to be performed, that is firmly in him. Just like again, we use the same example of working in a company. If I don't do the karma, I don't get any benefit. But I do get benefit when I get the complete the job. But that doesn't mean every day, every minute, every hour of the day, oh, I have done this much, I should get this benefit. We don't do that. We just do the karma dedicated to that action. And then at the end of the year, there will be some performance review, and there will be a benefit shown at that time. The benefit doesn't show right now when you are doing it. So perform giving up attachment and fruits of motivation. That is sattvika tyaga, in my opinion. So Krishna is very firmly laying out what is good for us, what is not good for us. So the Shastra has prescribed to perform this karma, and is therefore a duty and is to be necessarily performed. That must be the sentiment. Now, why does the Shastra prescribe a certain karma? How does the Shastra know what is good for me, what is not good for me? Now, that is where the guna karma comes into picture, where I am born. See, this we will take this up later on in the 18th chapter, 41 to 44. Krishna describes this very much. At that time, we will discuss more about that. But at this point, let us say the Shastra, or the owner of the Shastra, that is Paramatma, he knows what is good for me, what is not good for me. And accordingly, there is a natural fit that Krishna sees, or the Lord sees, that I'm good for. I'm good. I have a natural fit for a certain kind of karma. After all, that's what we do in business also, where a liar does not get to deploy to design a computer, or a computer designer does not get to do the surgery in surgical room. So there's a natural fit with respect to the education that experience we have accumulated. Likewise, there's a natural fit based on my karma of the past life. And based on that karma of the past life, I am trained to do certain things, and that certain things is prescribed to me. So the Shastra prescribes it this way, and that is to be that's a duty, and it has to be performed, should be the sentiment. So when I have to do it, all right, then if I do it with desire motivation, it becomes rajasic. But if I do it as this is the duty, this is the work of the Lord, and he knows how to make the outcome of this work benefit the society, and therefore he will take care of what I should be rewarded or not. That sentiment, that becomes sattvika tyaga. Now again, tyaga is not karma tyaga, but the tyaga of the attachment and the fruits thereof. Now, this is a standard argument. Nitya karma that we do, whatever is the prescribed nitya karma, that has no karma phala, there is no outcome of that. But if you don't do that, you will get sin. That is the one general understanding. Krishna is refuting that here. The nitya karma has a phala, but that phala is not tangible. It prepares me towards purification of the mind and graduating into the spiritual progress and moksha, the liberation. Therefore, there is a fruit associated with doing the nitya karma also, but it is not like there is a tangible outcome that you can see. So, but that purification of the mind helps me in move forward in my gola or purushartha of moksha, that is attaining to the atma, atmanishta. He becomes fixated in the pursuit of atma, and therefore that is the benefit, though it is not immediately tangible. Karyam iti eva yat karma.
Karyam iti eva yat karma. Karyam iti eva yat karma.
Niyatam kriyate Arjuna.
Niyatam kriyate Arjuna. Niyatam kriyate Arjuna.
Sangam tyaktva phalam chayeva.
Sangam tyaktva phalam chayeva. Sangam tyaktva phalam chayeva.
Sahatyagaha satvikaha mataha.
Sahatyagaha satvikaha mataha. Sahatyagaha satvikaha mataha.
Karyamityeva yat karma. Niyatam kriyate Arjuna. Sangam tyaktva phalam chaiva. Satyaga satviko mataha.
Karyamityeva yat karma. Niyatam kriyate Arjuna. Sangam tyaktva phalam chaiva. Satyaga satviko mataha. Karyamityeva yat karma. Niyatam kriyate Arjuna. Sangam tyaktva phalam chaiva. Satyaga satviko mataha.
7 to 9.
Niyatasya tu sanyasaha karmano nopapadyate mohat tasya parityagaha tamasa parikirtitaha dukkamityeva yat karma kayaklesha bhayatyajet sakrutva rajasam tyagam naiva tyaga phalam labhet. Karyamityeva yat karma niyatam kriyate Arjuna. Sangam tyaktva phalam chaiva satyaga satviko mataha.
Now, given that there is a prescribed duty for me, and I could start, I can do more. I have accumulated more than what I have been given to do, that decision, it does not lie in Sattvika mind. That's what he describes in the next verse. Nadveshtya kuchalam karma kushalena nusajjate yagi sattva samavishto medhavi chinna samchayaha. Nadveshti akushalam karma. One who does not hate unfavorable karma or unskilled karma. I'm able to do more, but I'm given this. You don't say this is less skill than I can perform. You don't make a decision and give it up. That's what he says. Kushalena anushajjate, does not get attached to favorable karma. Oh, this is a good karma. This is meeting, I can do more in this. I can grow more in this, doing this karma. That also you don't get attached to it. Kushale na anushajjate. Then, what is the nature of the person who thinks like this? He does not hate unfavorable karma or does not get attached to favorable karma. Sattva samavishtaha. He is that person integrated with sattva. He has more sattva in him. Medhavi tyagi chinna samchayaha. He is an intelligent renouncer, free of doubts. He has no doubt as to what is right, what is wrong. If whatever is given is the right karma for me, that sentiment, when that develops, he is a sattva samavishtaha. He has grown in sattva proclivity. So sattva enhanced and wise renouncer is free of all doubts, neither hates disagreeable actions, nor is attached to agreeable work. So undesirable karma or unskilled karma, this karma is going to lead me into samsara. He does not hate it because he knows that the leading to samsara is not in the karma. The leading to samsara is in the sentiment in doing the karma. So he does not get attached to daily routine as leading to liberation. All right, this is my nitya karma. If I do this, I'll get liberation, so I will do it. No, he doesn't even think of it that way. He just thinks that such a it helps me improve my mind, purify my mind, and so such a person is a tyagi. Krishna says, tyagi, as instructed by Krishna earlier, is he who has renounced fruits of action. So he has already said the one who is not interested in the fruits of karma, he is a tyagi. So the goal of tyaga is to engage in karma without doership. That is how you overcome the defects in the karma. So this will be a benefit to him because he has planted good impressions to himself, and then by doing that, society at large also benefits, because as I said earlier, my karma impacts somebody else. Whether if it is done right, it impacts the bigger group in a positive way. If I don't do it right, it impacts the bigger group in a negative way. Therefore, it improves society if I do this. With this sentiment, he engages in all duties without any concern for bodily discomfort. He doesn't worry about this happens to body, that happens to body. See, this is the big difference between the Eastern philosophies and the Western philosophies. The Western philosophies are rooted in right. This is my right to do it this way, and I have to do it this way. Whereas the Eastern philosophies are rooted in duty. If I do my duty, everyone would be benefited. Society will benefit. Whereas that right is Western democracies in particular are based on that right. That is how the rights creates a whole new industry of attorneys and all those, and we expend our energy unnecessarily in fighting with people, and that doesn't help the society at all. So he gives up attachment and engages in daily routine without any motivation of fruits. And when is he capable of doing so? When he has achieved purity of mind and is able to categorize Atma and Anatma, and he knows what is right, what is wrong, what is the what takes me towards Atma and what binds me in the Anatma. Such a person, he has become a Medhavi. He has understood the differences of Yaga and not doing. He has understood the differences of the what is real, what is unreal. So that is a Medhavi. Sattva Samavishta is associated with Sattva proclivity. So if I am associated with Rajasa Samavishta, then I am always fighting for my right. The Rajasic mind is looking for the right for my benefit. I have to enjoy this. This is my right to enjoy the fruits of this karma. But a Sattva Samavishta, one who is associated with Sattva proclivity, predominance of Sattva proclivity, he is the one who is capable of distinguishing between Atma and Anatma, and what is the right karma to do, and how the karma is to be done. Right karma is the niyata karma, prescribed karma. How to do that to please the Lord, that is his take, and he has no doubt about doing it that way. So Medha is to know the categorization of Atma and Anatma. Medha is wisdom, English literal translation. So this wise person, he knows what is Atma, what is Anatma. And when you know what is Atma, what is Anatma, there be no doubt left in you, Chinna Samchayaha. So where does the doubts come? The doubts come because of ignorance. So if you don't have doubts, then you know the difference between Atma and Anatma, what to pursue. So this is the means of liberation. By attaching to Atma, he is fully convinced of that. So he becomes a Chinna Samchaya, having no confusion between these Atma and Anatma. Now, what are the possible doubts otherwise that could happen? You know, I might say, am I affected by Sanchita Karma, Agami Karma, and attachment of current Karma? All these, how are these going to be taken care of? He's not worried about that. Agami and Sanchita will drop off at some point, good time. So that is nothing to worry about. So he knows that. Doership and enjoyership, the Atma or Anatma. Should I work towards enjoyership of the Anatma, or should I do karma with respect to attending to Atma? He will have no doubt about that. So, and then, you know, all right, I will take up liberation. That's the routine for liberation. Is it yoga, upasana, or karma? You know, if it is yoga or upasana, what is the benefit of doing karma? That doubt may come. He has no doubts about those also. He just does the karma that is prescribed to him. There's a lot to cover in this, unpack in this particular verse. So, if I'm attached to the body, identified with the body, I'm not free from I am the doer. See, I am the doer comes when I identify with the body. I has no place in any of our spiritual thinking. I is misplaced in the body and the mind. So if the I is misplaced in the body and the mind, I become the embodied, I am the doer. Therefore, he cannot renounce karma. Once he says he is the doer, that means the body, the karma and body are a kind of synonymous. Because of karma, you get a body. Because you have a body, you do karma. So, but somewhere along the line, karma has to be renounced. There is no doubt about the spiritual path. Karma has to drop off, but there's a right time to drop the karma. Just like I give this example, when a pole vault jumper, he takes the pole with him up to the point where he crosses the horizontal bar, and when he has crossed the horizontal bar, gone on top of it, then he has to drop the pole to get onto the other side. If he hangs on to the pole, he does not land on the other side. Like that, karma is the pole. It's the, we have to use it until such time, the right time to drop the karma. And then when you drop the karma, we become eligible towards the higher spiritual practices. So how do you, when do you know that you have to drop the karma, like the dropping the pole? You have to do all the duties, engage all the duties without seeking the fruits. And when I have come to that point, I will myself know that this is the time to give up karma, so and engage in meditation. So that time we will know it, or the guru will, with the help of the guru, he will guide us in terms of when to give up karma. So that next verse we will discuss that. So he will not hate a kusala karma. Unskilled karma he does not hate. He may engage in them or some context-driven karmas, which could bring a lot of pain. He is not worried about that. It could be some karma associated with occupation, like dharma vyada. It came to him, landed in him. This particular karma landed in him because of some past karma. He was a Brahmana, and then he was. Some of you may know the story of Dharma Vyada in the Mahabharata. Now he ended up as the seller of meat. A Brahmana in previous life, because of some karma, he became a tradesman of selling meat. And now he didn't hate that karma, performed that with detachment, and then finally the story goes and ends well for him according to that story of Dharma Vyada. So kushala karma is prescribed karma, skilled actions. At understanding that I am the right fit for this karma. If there is no natural fit, I would not have gotten it. I have there is a wisdom in giving the in assigning karma with respect to skills, and that wisdom is with the Paramatma, and he has given me the right karma, and therefore he has the idea of not getting attached to it, those karmas, and perform this as, yes, this is the karma of the Lord. I'm doing like karma of the Lord to please the Lord. All this will be possible when he has accumulated that sattva samavishta. When he has enough sattva in him, he is able to undertake such activities. Nadveshti akushalam karma.
Nadveshti akushalam karma. Nadveshti akushalam karma.
Kushalena anushajjate.
Kushalena anushajjate. Kushalena anushajjate.
Tyagi sattva samavishtaha.
Tyagi sattva samavishtaha. Tyagi sattva samavishtaha.
Medhavi chinna samshayaha.
Medhavi chinna samshayaha. Medhavi chinna samshayaha.
Nadveshtya kushalam karma. Kushalena anushajjate. Yagi sattva samavishto. Medhavi chinna samshayaha.
Nadveshtya kushalam karma. Kushalena anushajjate. Tyagi sattva samavishto. Medhavi chinna samshayaha. Nadveshya kushalam karma. Kushalena anushajjate. Tyagi sattva samavishto. Medhavi chinna samshayaha.
8 to 10.
Dukkhametyeva yat karma. Kayaklesha bhayat tyajet. Sakritva rajasam tyagam. Naiva tyaga phalam labhet. Karyametyeva yat karma. Yetam kriyate arjuna. Sangam tyaktva phalam saiva. Tyaga satviko mataha. न द्वेष्य कुशलं कर्म कुशलेनानुषज्यते त्यागी सत्त्वसमाविष्टो मेधावी छिन्न संशयः.
Now, in the next verse, he says that person who has that body identity can never give up karma. That is what he is going to. Yeah, I said earlier, because karma and body are complementary to each other, and that he brings out in this verse. Nahi deha bhrita shakyam tyaktum karmanya sheshatah yastu karma phala tyagi Satyagitya why there? So he says, why you cannot give up karma at all? You have to do one of the three ways of doing karma, because deha brita na shakyam, the embodied is not capable of asheshataha karmani tyaktum, renouncing karma completely. That is why we see that only one who has sattva karma, sattva guna maximized, then only that body identification drops. So the one who is embodied, particularly with Rajasic temperament, he cannot identify, he cannot differentiate himself from the body, and therefore he cannot give up karma completely. Yaha karma palatyagi, but who has renounced the fruits of karma, sahatyagi iti abhidhiyate. He is recognized as a renounced person. Because you cannot give up karma completely, you cannot see. Krishna, Arjuna asked the question, Sanyasa and Tyaga. What is the difference? He is bringing out the difference very specifically here, that because an embodied person cannot do sannyasa, karma sannyasa, now for the benefit of him, karma pala sannyasa is called sannyasa, karma pala tyaga is called tyaga. So this is how Krishna is now addressing that very complex question of the difference between sannyasa and tyaga. When you become ready to renounce the karma completely, then sannyasa applies, and any other time that sannyasa does not apply, only karma pala tyaga applies. That is the basic meaning of this. So one who has identification with the body, he is deha, he is the wearer of the body. The Atma is wearing the body. That is basically what that deha means. I am the Atma and I am wearing the body, and I am identifying the body without regarding the Atma. So he is not a discriminate person. That person has no the ability to discriminate between the Atma he is and the body he is wearing. Just like thinking my shirt is me. You know, I'm wearing a shirt on my body. And in this context, when I say if I am body, then if I identify with the shirt, then I become the shirt becomes the body. Shirt doesn't become the body. That's the analogy we can use. So one who identifies with the body as I'm a man, Brahmana, Grihastha, this is all the markers of Deha Bhrut. If I categorize myself as I'm an engineer, I'm a doctor, the engineering and doctor, all those things are to the body, not to the Atma, or the man, woman, I'm a Brahmana, I'm a Kshatriya, all these are body wearers. He is subject to attachment and hate and is not capable of karma tyaga. So once I identify myself as any one of these, I become attached to that karma, and I cannot do karma tyaga because I am attached to karma. Why do we do karma? In this particular case, you do karma to have more comfort. I do karma, work in a company, I earn money, I build a home to comfort myself with air conditioning and all those things. I buy a car that has gives me a lot of comfort. So this is all to help the body, not the Atma. So continuously engages in karma, the person who is Deha Bhrut, who is body identification, he cannot do karma tyaga because he has to keep the body in comfort. To keep the body in comfort, karma is absolutely necessary, and therefore he cannot do karma tyaga. such an ignorant wearer of the body cannot renounce all karma without a trace, because ultimately for spiritual realization, you need to do away with karma, because karma is in the prakriti. You have to isolate yourself totally from the prakriti. Therefore, you cannot renounce karma without a trace. So, where is this identification with the body coming? It's with karma. I am the doer. I am an engineer. I am writing now. I am speaking. These are all body activities, and I become identified with the body. So this karma and body are inseparable. It's like the cloth and the yarn. They are not separable. Only the yarn makes the cloth. The cloth has the yarn. So until the body is dropped, everything is inevitable. Everything is a function of the body, not of the Atma. And therefore, the body identity cannot be created, or they have identification with the body, bearer of the body. So, the karma cannot be dropped with the body. If the jiva should engage in karma such that karma will not beget in another body, how is it possible? This is by doing karma, renouncing the fruits thereof. Because you are doing the karma with the body, all right, but you are not seeking the fruits thereof to comfort your body. That is where the separation starts to begin with respect to identifying with the body. Now, eating food is a karma. This is definitely, we all can agree with that. So, subject to a fruit of that karma based on how the food is prepared, who prepared it, all these are factors in what karma phala I get out of it. So, this karma phala, eating is a karma, and what benefit do I get out of that karma depends on is the food prepared according to a certain schedule? Is the food prepared out of earnings that are just, that are in dharma? Is the earnings in adharma? All these things are, part of the fruits of eating also. So, and there is a process to take food. You don't just dig into it, into the food. There is an offering made to the God. That's why we chant these verses. Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva. The God is present in my as Vaishvanara Agni, the one who digests the food, and to that God I am offering the food. I am not eating for the taste pleasure. I am offering for the Paramatma that is in there as a Naivedya. And in the process, if he gives me something, I will take it. That mindset is there in the eating also. So this is the beauty here. In Hinduism, eating is also a worship. You don't have to worship separately. Even eating can be made an act of worship. So the fruits of eating food is offered to God. When that happens, that sentiment is to delight the Lord. I am eating ice cream not because my taste buds like it. I'm eating ice cream because the Vaishvanara Agni in me says, yeah, I want ice cream. So I am satisfying his need. This is the sentiment that will try to separate me from the body. The whole idea is to isolate the body mind from me, the Atma, and to that extent, all these things are helpful means. So, one who is fixated in Atma is not a wearer of the body. So, when I'm doing all actions as a service to the Lord, I'm eating for the benefit of the Lord, I'm putting away the body, forgetting the identity with the body. So then he becomes ready to renounce karma without a trace. So in the state of samadhi, when the person is in meditation, there comes a time when that body identity completely is lost. He is in the realm of the Atma. Breathing is arrested. There's no breathing happening at that time. The jiva is unaware of the body, even because breathing is a function of the body. So he is unaware of the body. And once he comes out of the samadhi, he will resume breathing, and the jiva comes out of that samadhi. That happens. This is when Sri Ramakrishna used to have satsangs, and as a part of the satsangs, they would sing a lot of bhajans and all, and he would also dance with respect to that dance, to that music. Now he would go into trance, and he would go into samadhi, and there would be his attendants around him, so that they will hold him, at least he will not fall on the ground when he is in samadhi. So this identification with the body is lost at that time, and the body has no support, no breathing, and he will fall otherwise. So the karma and body, they go together. As long as there is karma, the body is identification is there. As the karma is inevitable, as long as the body is there. So this karma, therefore, if you don't give up karma, you cannot give up transmigration. You cannot avoid transmigration. Migration is another birth. So karma gives you birth. Then how to do karma? That is, we have already sangam tyaktva phalam chaiva. Renouncing the fruits of karma is equivalent to renouncing karma. That's what he says here. Yastu karma palatyagi satyagi tabhidiyate. So this is in this entire chapter, this renouncing the fruits of karma and renouncing attachment is the subject matter of this Mokṣha Sanyasa Yoga generally. Nahi deha bhrita shakyam.
Nahi deha bhrita shakyam. Nahi deha bhrita shakyam.
Tyaktum karmani asheshataha.
Karmani asheshataha. Tyaktum karmani asheshataha.
Yaha tu karma palatyagi.
Yah tu karma palatyagi. Yah tu karma palatyagi.
Sahatyagi iti abhidhiyate.
Sahatyagi iti abhidhiyate. Sahatyagi iti abhidhiyate.
Nahi deha bhrita shakyam. Tyaktum karmanya sheshataha. Yastu karma palatyagi. Satyagi ityabhidhiyate.
Nahi deha bhrita shakyam. Tyaktum karmanya sheshataha. Yastu karma palatyagi. Satyagi ityabhidhiyate. Nahi deha bhrita shakyam. Tyaktum karmanya sheshataha. Yastu karma palatyagi. Sahatyagi ityabhidhiyate.
9 to 11.
Karya karyametyeva yat karma. Yatam kriyate Arjuna. Sangam tyaktva phalam chaiva. Tyagaha satviko mataha. Nadveshya kushalam karma. Kushalena Tyagi sattva samavishto. Medhavi chinna samshayaha. Nahi deha bhritam shakyam. Tyaktum karmanya sheshataha. Yastu karma palatyagi. Satyagi ityabhidhiyate.
So we have been speaking of karma phala all along, and Krishna describes here the karma phala is of three kinds. Anishtamishtam mishram cha trividham karmana phalam bhavatyatyyaginam pretya tu sannyasinam kvachit. Karmanaha phalam trividham. The fruits of karma are of three kinds. Anishtam, ishtam, cha mishram. Undesirable, desirable, or a mix of the desirable and undesirable. That is the nature of karma phala. We start out to do something. We may get full benefit of that. We may not get any benefit at all, or may get something in between. That is the three kinds of desirable, undesirable, and mixed. Atyaginam pretya bhavati happens after death to the unrenounced. So it doesn't happen in this life. Atyaginam pretya bhavati. Pretya means after death. After he has departed this body, that karma phala will kick in. It will not happen now. Just like you work all through the year, you go, you are not rewarded or punished for one day not doing the right work, or one day exceeding the expectations. All through the year, 365 days, how you are performing your duty, at the end of the year is there is a performance review, and then they will give you a raise or a promotion or whatever it is. So it happens at the end of the year. Here, that it happens at the end of this life. And after the end of this life, this karma phala is awarded. Natu sannyasinam kvachit. To whom does it is it offered? It is one who has not, given one who has not given fruit of attachment. But one who has done given fruit of attachment and has stopped working for him, but never to the renounced person. Karma phala happens to the unrenounced person, unrenounced with respect to the karma phala. So to the sannyasi, one who has given up the fruits of action, for him there is no, though he gets some benefit out of it, he does not get anything that is with respect to additional bodies. Whatever is sanchita, accumulated karma, will still propel him further, because that cannot be dropped until the moksha happens. So agreeable, disagreeable, and mixed are the three fruits of action accompanying the departed, but not the renounced. One who has renounced, that karma phala does not bind. So he is subject to one of these three kinds of karma phala, and depending on the kind of karma undertaken, how it is undertaken, not so much on the kind, but on the sentiment of karma undertaken. So when does it happen? It can happen anytime in the next billion years or 1,000 kalpas. Where one kalpa is 1,000 yugas of Brahmaji's one day, and then like that 360 days. That's how huge that 31 trillion years or something that comes out to one kalpa. So 31 trillion years times 1,000. That is karma phala is so tenacious that it does not drop off. That's the meaning. Atyagi is one who engages in inappropriate karmas for the fulfillment of desires, for the body comfort, and he has to face one of the three fruits of action: desirable, undesirable, and the mixed. Now, what is this undesirable outcome of karma? That is degradation to hell, taking animal births or plant births. Undesirable fruits of action, like birth as an animal or a plant, by doing tamasic karma. Desirable outcome of karma is attachment, attainment of heaven, like Brahma, not Brahma, Indra, Varuna, Agni, Manu, etc. Those are all desirable outcome of karma. Birth as a divinity by doing sattvic karma. So this is the desirable fruits of action. We all want benefits better than what we are now. That is desirable karma. We all want to avoid what is lower than my current status. That is undesirable karma. So the mixed outcome is the union of desirable and undesirable outcome, giving birth as human beings. So if we have the ability to be born as a human being in the next life again, we have done at least partially a good job. So mixed fruits of action, mix of desirable and undesirable, so we get human birth. Such outcomes of action in the form of dharma and adharma is a product of interaction in the outside world. How do I do my karma with respect to dharma, or do I do my karma with respect to adharma, All these are factors in desire in getting a fruit of karma that is desirable or undesirable. Now, in this context, going to heaven is a desirable karma, and going to hell is an undesirable karma phala. We don't want it. But if we get a human life, okay, we'll settle for it. That's the mixed karma. Now, every human being has to experience this karma phala. That outcome is inevitable. We have to go through that, because we have not renounced fruits of action. So once we have not renounced the fruits of action, or we have not renounced karma itself, when can we renounce karma? When you get a lot of sattva-guna. So that has not happened yet for us. But sannyasi who has renounced karma will never face any of these outcomes. For him, he may not even engage in karma because he has so much sattva. Or even if he engages, he is not interested in the karma phala, and therefore he is not touched by the karma phala. So, as I said earlier, you can renounce fruits of action only when you are engaged in sattvika karma. Rajasika karma is for the benefit of the body. So you cannot renounce fruits of action when you have attachment to the body. But the sannyasi was given up karma righteously. There's a process for giving up karma. I gave the example of the pole vault jumper. Like that, there's a right time and there's a process. And sannyasi has given up karma righteously, and he has experienced the self. For him, there is no fruit of karma at all. He does not have to have the question of desirable, undesirable mix does not even enter into his realm, his domain. So he is free of fruits of karma. Now, when does that happen? When we have to overcome the source ignorance. Source ignorance is what? I'm the Atma, but I'm thinking I'm the body mind. That is there for me. That is happening for billions and billions of years that I have been being born and dying. That is source ignorance. Mula Vidya is called. So when the source ignorance is retired, that I am the Atma, I'm not the body. When that ignorance goes away, its effort karma phala is also retired. That's when he does not have to experience any karma. Now, this is in effect summary of this chapter. Current jiva, at the time of death, after departing from this life, he may experience one of these outcomes. This is the desirable ishtaphala, desirable fruit of action. This is the going into heaven, and that is heaven. In heaven is also there's a there are 3.3 million divinities. They are like the administrators of this universe, just like the president, the vice president, executive vice president. These are all the administrators of the organization. These are the administrators of the universe. So that is when, as we know, to be an administrator, we have to qualify for that. And this here also we have to qualify with sattva guna and do sattvika karma. And sattvika karma will get us one of these divinities. That's the karma we get. Now, if we have done adharma, then we can get into any one of these lives, an animal or a plant. And then also there is also, depending on the karma and the guna, there is a variation there also. You can be born a tulsi plant or a bilva tree that goes to worship the Lord. That is better than being born as a shrub which has thorns in it of plant life. And also in the animal life, cow is considered a good animal life, whereas a snake or some other wild animal is not considered a good animal life. So there is a degradation there also, depending on what karma we do and how we do it. Now, if we have done reasonably good, kept up with the reasonable dharma, not do a great deal of work. So not do a great deal of sattvic karma, not a great deal of rajasic, tamasic karma, then I'm reborn as a human being, man, woman, doesn't matter, a saint, or a wicked person, depending on the karma distribution. So this is what this 1812 dictates, that the current jiva experiences one of these outcomes. This is the desirable outcome. This is the undesirable outcome. This is the mixed outcome. Now with this, Krishna is defining these three various outcomes of karma phala. The at least getting one of the higher divine lives or human life is better to pursue, because in here in the animal world we are hardwired. There is no decision making, whereas in the human life you have decision making. So that is where the intellect is given to the human mind. Now, so with this, now I put this together in this slide that captures Bhagavad Gita in a sense. It is everything put together. Now, we in the current life, you have one of the three positions, three outcomes you can experience. Now, so at the time of death, the mind is occupied with the prakriti, sattva, rajas, and tamas, and therefore the outcomes are also sattva, rajas, and tamas, depending. This is sattva, this is rajas, this is tamas. Now, if I embark on a spiritual path, and at the time of death, I remember Paramatma, then I get to go to the Brahmaji's land. Brahmaji becomes the guru, and then I have an opportunity to get liberation from the cycle of birth and death at that time, and go to attain that liberation. Now, if I don't succeed there, there is a potential path that we can, I will come back to this again to the human life, and then continue my search for moksha. Now, if I do meditation and in the Jivan Mukta, in this life itself, I experience the Atma, I go to directly to the Paramatma. I don't have to experience any fruits of action. In here, the fruit of action is going to the Brahma land. Here, the fruit of action is much limited, whereas when I get realization as I am in this life, I get, there's no fruit of action, I get liberated. That is the, so these are this is described in verse 629. This is described in verse 8.5. And this is described in 2-3 contexts we have to put together. In Bhagavad Gita by itself, I don't I don't think there is a verse that describes that if I don't get into, even under Brahma's teachings, like this is like having a private tutor. Even if a private tutor, if I don't pass my exam, I'll have to redo that exam. Like that, here, with that private tutor, if I'm still not successful, I will come back to human life. But if there's a good chance that I will get realization there. But this is not described in any one single verse in the Bhagavad Gita, but it is there in 2-3 verses you have to combine. It is described in the Upanishads and other Dharma Shastras. So this, in a sense, describes my current life. What are my options? I can pursue one of these options. I can pursue this option. This at least I can try, because to do that, if I am not able to get to this realization, always thinking of the Bhagavan during the lifetime, I may have the opportunity to higher potential probability for remembering the Bhagavan at that time, and then I will get to Brahma's land. So I think we are over time. I will stop here today, and we will continue in the next class. And we will learn the words in next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Any questions?